Second last on the programme, race number 9. This is another Class 3 contest. 1,600 metres the trip, headed by California Joy, third beaten favourite behind Bank on Red last time out. Razor Quest, a 5-time course and distance winner. Ping High Star, runner-up on debut behind World Record. More Than Lucky's won 2 of his last 3. Such a Happiness was a beaten favourite over 1,400 metres last time out. Won the start before. Down to General Dino, who's only beaten just over a length by Rattan. And Club Life from Barrier 3, lightweight. He'll probably enjoy rolling forward from there. Yeah, that's generally his MO, Club Life. Cheerful Boys often led as well. More Than Lucky ran a huge race from a prominent position last time. And California Joy often is towards head of affairs too. So might be more on the good side than the slow side. Interesting, Cheerful Boys having his first start for the new stable of Michael Friedman as well. So blinkers come off. Let's have a look at Ping High Star. He's put on 15 pounds since his first up performance when he was second behind World Record. He's a big brute of a horse, as you can see. Zach Purton's taking the ride. Joe Moreira was aboard on debut. Joe doesn't have a ride in the race, so interesting jockey booking. More Than Lucky. He looks a different horse, doesn't he, this season? Frankie Law's certainly extracting the best from him. He's looked very impressive in his 2 wins and he's holding his form nicely. He's won a trial since as well, his last start. And Bring It On, I just wanted to highlight him. I mean, he continues to work well in the morning. He's super fit. He's on a rating of 62. He's very close to a drop in class, but some of his runs recently have been competitive to suggest that, you know, he could probably bob up given all the circumstances in this grade. All right, OK. Well, let's start off with a horse towards the top, or is at the top of the handicap, and that's California Joy. And he was favoured on this occasion at Happy Valley. Bank on Red a bit too good. He's beaten 1 3/4. Yeah, I think he's worth another chance at Shartin on Sunday afternoon on this fella. I mean, he was well drawn here, but Happy Valley's a different kettle of fish to Shartin. Prior to that, his runs at Shartin were pretty solid given the gates he'd drawn, and he can't have drawn a better gate this time round. Gate 1, Dylan Moe taking the £7 off as well to get into a good position. I think he's a must for the numbers. Definitely, I agree with you totally, John. I think his record at the Valley's good, but overall he's won 4 races, 3 of them at Shartin and 3 over this distance. So he goes in with a good barrier and a claim. All right, Razor Quest has got a fantastic course and distance record as well. Comes in off a good effort. Club Life in front as they swing in, but quickly went backwards. For your man, Alvin Ung too, Andrew. Yes, Alvin looking for his second win. This is the type of horse that can jump and roll. Overall, I know he's won twice in this class, but I generally prefer him down in grade, Club Life. And Razor Quest, I've definitely underestimated him a little bit. He's probably right at his mark now, but he's super honest. He is, yeah. I think he will definitely need an end-to-end gallop, which may eventuate here, may not. But if it does, expect him to be staying on strongly at the finish. Yeah, he's certainly in the numbers for me. Ping High Star's just had 1 start so far. It was a pretty taking debut as well from a wide gate. They dropped in, was very quiet, rattled home behind World Record. Yeah, he certainly did. The second last call, he was 13th and he nearly won the race. So it was a pretty decent effort. And you can see the eventual winner, World Record, as well, just ahead of him there. So he's had first start on him. Yeah, I think there's every chance this fella can go well as well. The jockey situation raised an eyebrow with me as well when I was looking at the form. But I'm sure there's a reason for it. And, well, Zach Purton will get on well with him, I'm sure. And again, he has got to be considered. Yeah, there's not much of a difference, is there, really, Joe or Zach? So I don't think it's a concern at all. But, yeah, that was a big run, and I think getting up to the mile is going to just be perfect. All right, so big chance for him. More Than Lucky. Brett, as you mentioned, has had a fantastic season so far. He's won 2 of his 3, and he's looked pretty good doing it as well. Yeah, I think, look, he's beaten Ambitious Pins here, who hasn't won a race yet. But it's more the style in which he's done it and the time on the clock, 1:33.78. If he can run 1:33.78 in this Class 3 contest, I would have thought Johnny would be winning again. Yeah, this was it was a monstrous performance, this, considering the grade and considering he was on the speed most of the way, and a lot of the other speed runners here just flattened out. They were knackered at the end of proceedings. More Than Lucky could have gone round again, though. So for me, from gate 2, I think he's got to be considered. All right, another good ride for Caris Teeton as well. He's got a good book of rides, Caris. One more to have a look at. That's General Dino, who ran a mighty race just outside the places from a good gate. They had the favours here. So they've got Barrier 4, so again, might get a pretty good run in transit. Yeah, most of these 4, I think, you know, should they drop in class, they'll be very hard to beat. But they also give the impression, particularly Bring It On for me, that if they were to get everything sort of go right for them in a Class 3 race, they could probably pinch one too. So I think I might have snuck Bring It On into my tips. I did. I put him in for 4th. I think Ty Smart needs a little bit more racing, and Agree might need a drop in class for me.
General Dino as well. This was a good effort, and I think he probably needs a little bit further. But from gate 1, I wouldn't be surprised if he ran a good race.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Second last then, early favourite, Brett, is More Than Lucky.
It is. There's a few to choose from. I ended up going with More Than Lucky on top. Just like the way he lengthened away in good time, and he continues to raise the bar. Pinghai Star will appreciate the step up to 1600. California Joy gets all the ticks with the claim, good barrier, course and distance record. And of those 4 that we looked at before, I think they're all capable of bobbing in for a minor spot. I snuck in Bring It On. So 6, 4, 1 and 10.
Yep, I'm working around similar numbers as well, Brett, but on top I'm going to stick with More Than Lucky. I think he's got a very, very good chance of running a really big race once again. We talked about the time that he ran, we talked about the way the race was run. It still didn't cause him any problems whatsoever. I think he's a much improved horse. Toyed with the idea about making him my best in the end, didn't quite manage to do so, but I think he's going to be very tough to beat. California Joy from a much better draw, he should go very well. Razor Quest, an old mate of mine, he can run a decent race too, as indeed can Pinghai Star. So 6, 1, 3 and 4. It's a good race.
It is, yeah. Similar sort of numbers. I got the Pinghai Star on top as well. I think he's a very nice horse. One horse we haven't mentioned, just touch on him very quickly before we wrap this up. Win Win Ruby. Was very disappointing at Happy Valley last time out as favourites. When he won, he looked very good doing so. The 2 starts before that Happy Valley run, it looked pretty good as well. Pulled
up lame, Andrew. Right hind was the issue. So a legitimate excuse for Win Win Ruby. So if you're willing to overlook that, he'd be one to consider. But he's got an awkward barrier number 12. But prior to that, he was in good form.
I'm sure if our Kiwi friend was here today, he'd be flagging him up. So yeah, wouldn't want to totally put you off him. But the gate's a bit troubling for me.
Yeah, barrier 12 for him. So Nashua will be looking at dropping in, but hopefully we've got them covered there otherwise.
I think we have. Just mentioned too, we've got the Japan Cup as well as part of the programme tomorrow between races 4 and 5. Looking forward to that. All right, still one more race to go. Race number 10 plus all the best bets. That comes up next.